I said I'm a conversationalist. But what people are upset about is that for some reason people come to me and I don't look at them with judgy eyes. I have no predetermined notion or preconceived notion, and they open up to me.
Right.
That's what they're upset about. Because if you look at a lot of these people that's been on other podcasts, they don't do the views that they do when they come on Club Shay Shay.
So being a celebrity always comes with a very high price. And let me tell, Shannon Sharpe is finding out in real time just how toxic the industry can be. And you know what makes this crazy? Katt Williams predicted all of this just a few months ago. Shannon's podcast, Club Shay Shay, has been doing crazy numbers ever since the Katt Williams interview, which, by the way, is now the most viewed podcast video in YouTube history. And baby, some people in the industry are not happy about this. Shannon did an interview recently where he went off on all the celebrities trying to cancel his show and ensure he goes down. They've even gone as far as threatening him and the ones who were happy to be on the show before suddenly canceled without any reason. Child, we always knew the industry was toxic, but these guys are really doing too much when it comes to Shannon. Whispers are even floating around that Shannon's life may be in danger because the haters be hating. Girl, grab a chair and let's unpack this real quick.
I didn't know it was gonna cause this kind of ripple. I didn't think it was gonna move me in the direction. I'm glad it did. I understand.
So Shannon recently did an interview where he talked about all the disturbing things he has faced since he went viral after the Katt Williams interview earlier this year. He sat with Cam Newton for a chat where he explained why celebrities feel comfortable enough to spill all their tea when they come on his podcast. According to Shannon, the first step he takes before the interview even begins is to ask the celebrities if there are any topics they would rather not talk about when they start recording, because he wants them to be able to show the world who they are from their perspective.
I said, is there anything that you don't want to talk about? I always ask the guests that. Sometimes they say, well, I would appreciate if we not talk about this.
Right.
Cool, no problem. Because I believe you can tell your story without saying something negative. But yes, I believe a person that's been in a business, that's been doing something 10, 15, 20, 30 years are more than one salacious story.
Right.
That's what I believe. So if they say they want to stay away from it, but if they want to tell something.
Shannon then went on to clarify that he is not a journalist and never actually presented himself as a journalist. For those who don't know, Shannon is a very successful retired NFL player who was inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame back in 2011. Before Shannon started podcasting and after his football career, he was a commentator for CBS Sports pregame show, The NFL Today, including the Sprint halftime report and the Subway postgame show. Then, in 2013, he became a columnist and spokesperson for Fitness RX for Men magazine, and he actually appeared on the magazine's 2013 cover. He later joined Skip Bayless in FS1 sports debate show Skip and Shannon Undisputed in 2016. So Shannon didn't start podcasting just because everyone else was doing it. He already had a solid resume working in the industry. And apart from Club Shay Shay, he actually has another podcast called Nightcap, which he hosts with retired NFL player Chad Ochocinco Johnson and retired basketball player Gilbert Arenas. However, Shannon's Club Shay Shay podcast is more popular, especially because of some viral interviews he has done, including Katt Williams and Steve Harvey. In 2021, the episode with Bubba Wallace was selected by the Apple Podcasts editorial team on their Apple Podcasts Best of 2021 list. Shannon started Club Shay Shay in 2020 during the pandemic. According to him, he found something else to be passionate about after retiring from professional sports, and that just happened to be podcasting. With his podcasts, he aimed to let Black entertainers have a space where they could talk about themselves without being judged harshly. So in his words, he's a conversationalist, not a journalist.
I'm having a conversation. You and I having a conversation, you're not gonna cut me off, I'm not gonna cut you off.
However, even though Shannon already had experience with media, nothing could have prepared him for the success his podcast had in 2024, and it was all thanks to Katt Williams. See, Shannon said he had been trying to get Katt on the podcast for about a year before that episode finally happened. He got lucky one day when he randomly ran into Katt's new manager, and she ended up linking him to Katt just a week later. Katt would be spilling all the tea about the industry on Club Shay Shay,
sit downs, you see what I'm saying?
Kim, I've been trying to line Katt up for a year. I tried to line him up for a year. People don't know this, but Katt doesn't like to fly. I'm getting off the elevator. As I'm getting off the elevator, a lady's getting on.
Right.
She said, hello. I said, hey, how you doing? I'm Shannon Sharpe. She tells me her name. She's like, I've never seen you here before. I said, yeah, my attorney's here, Marvin. She said, oh, I love Marvin. I love Allison, who's his daughter. She said, oh, I said, I've never seen you here. I said, I've been coming here 3-4 years. I've never seen you. She said, oh man, I'm sorry. I'm just not meeting you. She said, today is my last day. I said, what? She said, yeah, today is my last day. I said, you got a new job? She said, I'm leaving to be Katt Williams tour manager.
Wow.
I said, I've been trying to get Katt for a year. That was a Friday. The next Friday, Katt sitting in that chair.
Look at God.
But according to Shannon, he actually didn't think the episode was going to go that viral initially. At the time, his most viewed episode on YouTube was the Steve Harvey episode, which had about 8 million views. However, when they finished filming the Katt Williams episode, Shannon said his producer told him to get ready because they were about to hit it big. Now, Shannon, he was thinking even if the episode did better than the Steve Harvey episode, it would only get about 10 million views. Boy, was he wrong. Right now, Katt Williams' episode on Club Shay Shay has just under 72 million views on YouTube. According to Shannon, that completely changed the trajectory of the podcast. He started getting calls from potential sponsors, more people wanted to be on the podcast, and basically Club Shay Shay became the place to go if you wanted to tell your story.
People heard about it, but when Katt came on and did what he did, now you had no choice. Advertisers, sponsors had to take Club Shay Shay serious.
Right.
People that did, he just this, he's a dumb jock, he talked with a lisp. Well, that dumb jock that talked with a lisp has the #1 podcast on YouTube. Not sports podcast.
But it gets even darker. See, while Shannon was basking in the success of Club Shay Shay, he started noticing that some people in the industry were not happy about his success, and they were trying to sabotage the podcast. But that's not all. Some of these celebrities who were offended by Shannon's success were trying to label him and Club Shay Shay as messy, saying he was trying to create beef in the world of comedy because of the Katt Williams interview. To be fair, the fact that some of these guys decided to take out their frustrations on Shannon isn't all that surprising because Katt Williams did not hold back at all during his interview. He dragged almost every famous comedian for filth and exposed many of the lies in the industry. For example, he called out Cedric the Entertainer for being a sellout and a joke thief who has been stealing jokes since 1998. Then, he called out Faison Love and Ricky Smiley for faking it, claiming they weren't funny at all. According to Katt, the only reason why they got famous was that they sold their souls to the highest bidder and sucked up to the industry gatekeepers. But Katt wasn't done just yet. He then put Kevin Hart on blast for not only being unfunny and untalented but also for being a sellout and a gatekeeper. He even called Kevin an industry plant. Katt started by debunking Kevin's story about growing up on the East Coast. According to him, Kevin couldn't possibly have had his career upbringing on the East Coast only to end up having more recognition in LA. Katt questioned Kevin's come up in the industry, saying Kevin just came out of the blue and started landing all the gigs and TV roles that it took other comedians way longer to achieve, and the reason is that Kevin was an industry plant. He then said Kevin had also become a gatekeeper, leaving the gate open for industry plants like Tiffany Haddish. Really wasn't playing. But again, it wasn't surprising that he had so much to say about Kevin because their beef goes way back. Katt has always had his foot on Kevin's neck. In a previous interview, Katt called out Kevin for wearing a dress on screen. According to Katt, the whole idea of straight black men wearing a dress on screen can be linked back to industry gatekeepers who want to emasculate black men.
At the end of the day, Kevin doesn't have to worry about what people are going to say about him wearing a dress because of the long line of dress-wearing people before him. So now we have Big Mama's house 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah.
I've never seen Medea in a pantsuit. I think she wears dresses. So now I'm saying, why are we picking on poor little Kevin Hart? Because it was his turn next.
Katt talked about how when he starts telling the truth,
In that same interview, Katt talked about how when he starts telling the truth, the industry powers that be immediately start punching him down, trying to paint him as a crazy person and attacking his credibility.
Against the Illuminati at our own detriment. When people are against the Illuminati, then they get punched in the face all the time. The press hates them, and nobody likes them.
And it looks like that's exactly what is now being done to Shannon Sharpe. When Katt sat with him earlier this year, he made it clear that once he made Club Shay Shay a place of truth-telling, the vultures were going to swoop down on the podcast. But according to Shannon, he did not expect the level of vitriol he's been getting. People who were excited to come on the show before suddenly pulled out without explanation. He's getting hate comments about his style of interviewing guests, and some people are outright trying to get him canceled.
But Kim, I didn't know it was gonna cause this kind of ripple. I didn't think it was gonna move me in the direction. I'm glad it did. And some of the comedians had taken shots at other comedians, but nothing like this. I didn't expect the vitriol to come, especially from some of the people, and I'm not gonna say we were friends, but I'm saying we were cordial, we were friendly towards each other. Some people that I've kind of helped behind the scenes, and to see them attack, oh, I wouldn't have let him do this.
Take DL. Hughley, for example. Now, DL. Hughley was not one of the people Katt said something negative about during the Club Shay Shay interview. Matter of fact, Katt didn't have anything bad to say about DL, even though he dragged almost half of the comedy industry. However, that didn't stop DL. Hughley from dragging Katt for filth over the things he said about other comics. He also threw shade at Shannon Sharpe, calling him Wendy Williams with muscles.
Katt told every goddamn about everything. He told so much. Jada Pinkett went, why you telling so goddamn much? What am I gonna say now? At least nobody had alopecia, so. So Shay Shay getting messy as hell. Shannon Sharpe is like Wendy Williams with a weight center.
Baby, that one is a violation. I can't even lie.
Baby, that one is a violation. I can't even lie. But what's crazy is that, as far as we know, Shannon and DL High have never had beef. So where did all that come from? Well, according to sources, DL High did not like the attention Shannon and Katt Williams got from that one interview, so he decided to do everything within his power to sabotage it. But he's not the only one thinking this way. Another person who is apparently trying to blackball Shannon's career is Steve Harvey. Now, Steve Harvey has actually appeared on Club Shay before. During that episode, they talked about many things, from lifestyle to the industry, but it was just a normal Club Shay interview. Although it did go viral because it was interesting and it's Steve Harvey. When Club Shay hosted Katt Williams, the Steve Harvey interview was the podcast's most viewed video. Then Katt came along and roasted everyone, resulting in the most viral podcast in YouTube history. Baby Steve Harvey was not happy about this, especially because of the things Katt said about him during the interview. Katt revealed the real reason why Steve stopped doing stand-up comedy, claiming it was because he embarrassed Steve after exposing him as a wig-wearing, bald-headed fraud. Then he talked about how Steve literally stole his come-up story about being broke and living in his car. But this was not Katt's first time calling out Steve Harvey. He previously called Steve out for perpetuating harmful stereotypes about black men. For example, Katt claimed Steve forced Cedric the Entertainer to wear a dress, thereby promoting this huge conspiracy in Hollywood to emasculate black men. According to Katt, Steve purposely ridiculed Cedric because he had so much potential, and Steve didn't want him to become bigger than him. So, he deliberately tried to sabotage Cedric's career, making him do things he knew Cedric wasn't comfortable with. Katt has also made it clear that he thinks Steve Harvey's career is shady and that he only got successful because he doesn't have any morals. During his interview with Club Shay, Katt said Steve wasn't funny, he was a bad performer, and on top of that, he still had the nerve to call himself a king of comedy.
Is concerned.
Shannon Sharpe, in his recent interview with Cam Newton, also added that if this was the only interview the fans had an issue with out of all the interviews on his page, he could live with that. But what's mind-blowing is the number of people that have it out for Shannon, and it looks like all of this even started before the Katt Williams interview. Back in May last year, TMZ Sports reported that there had been a break-in at Shannon's house in Los Angeles. The break-in happened around 7 p.m. and 9:30 p.m. when Shannon was out with friends for dinner. According to reports, the thieves stole various items, including watches, jewelry, and designer bags, worth around $1 million in total value. Shannon later offered a $50,000 reward for information leading to the arrest of the burglars, but so far, there haven't been any credible leads. Initially, this seemed like an isolated incident that was completely unrelated to the podcast. However, since Shannon's interview, rumors have started surfacing, suggesting that the robbery might have been a failed attempt on Shannon that had to be turned into a robbery since they didn't find him at home. Child. It sounds like a wild conspiracy now, but Shannon wouldn't be the first or the last person whose career got blackballed because the industry gatekeepers didn't like them. And for a lot of fans, it's really weird that people are hating on Shannon because all he does is try to give a platform to black celebrities. One person said, "It's sad to hear this, but the behavior of these celebrities validates everything Katt said during the podcast. I'm going to continue supporting Shannon, Katt, and Cam. I will take a pass on DL, Cedric, and Steve." Another person said, "That's the problem. The celebrities that have a problem do not, I repeat, do not want those stories discussed, unfolded, or told." But do we all think Shannon Sharpe needs to start watching his back now? And are we about to see the end of Club Shay? Leave your thoughts and comments down below, and we'll see you in the next video.